for you. I know we ended things a week ago. Baby, running to me so. Don't keep your love on me. No love on me. Oh, Valentine Drive. Ooh, you're so fine. Purple in the sky.
Good morning. Got my road music jamming and grooving this morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Miss Mims. Good morning, Henry. So I am just saying good morning to everyone. Taking a nice little drive, therapeutic, relaxing drive this morning. It's what I think it's like almost 7 in the morning. So got up early on that night drive. So let's see. What do I want to talk and share about? I really want to share something positive and something alive. So just again, I just want to say good morning to everyone, and I hope everyone's morning is off to a great start. I hope that we started the morning with the right one, which is God, which is Christ. And I hope that you said good morning to him for allowing you to see a new day where, again, his mercies are new every morning. So I wanted to, there's a couple things I wanted to kind of share this morning in way of encouragement. It's Thursday. It's almost, we're like almost over the week being done. And I just want to encourage us to just keep pushing through. Keep pushing through even when what God has promised you looks like it's not in view. We have to keep pushing through even when what God has promised you seems like it's not in view. And I'm sharing that and saying, sometimes we pray for things, we ask God for things and we're wondering like, okay, God, where are you? Like, I prayed, I believe, but I'm not seeing the manifestation of what you have promised. And for me lately, I have been having to remind myself of the promises of God and what God has told me, what God has said. And God has been reminding me of things that he has said to me, because of course, as I was sharing a couple weeks back or last week about the voices, and many of us have different voices in our lives that are speaking to us. And basically there's there's two voices. There's the voice of God, and then there is the voice of the enemy. Now, the voice of the enemy, it seems like there's a lot of voices, but it's really only one. It's just that the voice of the enemy uses many mediums to speak to us, to basically project his voice. So the enemy may be speaking through media. The enemy may be speaking through friends, families, foes. And then our voice basically accepts either God's voice or the enemy's voice. And then it now becomes our voice, and that is what we live out in our lives. So I just want to encourage us as we go through the rest of this week to listen to the voice of God. Remember what God has said. And if you forgot what he has spoken in your life, just go back to the last place where you met him, where you heard him clearly. And that is something that someone had shared with me a while back, and it's something that I personally live by, and I do, because sometimes I'm not hearing anything. Like, I'm not hearing nothing. Like, nobody's speaking to me. It seems like it's just silence, you know. And I'm just going through these tests and trials and tribulations and trepidations, and I'm not hearing anything. But that's where you have to go back to the last place you did hear God and remember what he said to you the last time. And God is a God. He does not change. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. So if he said something, if he said, okay, you know what, 10 years ago that you are going to become an entrepreneur, that you are going to lead and inspire kingdoms and nations, trust and believe, even though you're not seeing that, and you're like, I'm going through hell, but if God has spoken it, it is so. You know, look at the story of Sarah. Like, he told Abraham that he was going to bring forth a son. And a lot of times, like Abraham, when God has told us things and we don't see the manifestation, we automatically look at it like, oh my gosh, you know, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to get. How is what God has spoken going to happen? Because I don't see any evidence, you know. And that's where we have to exercise the faith and believe that God is who he said he is, and what he has spoken to us, he doesn't need to lie. Like, you know, I ain't like God does not have to lie. Like, what would he benefit from lying to us? And he wants to give us good gifts. So if we are like forgetting what God has spoken in our lives, remember that God cannot lie. He wants the best for us. And if he has said, you know what, you are going to be the father of many nations, trust and believe that. But a lot of times, like Abraham, we want to help God out. You know, we want to, you know, God has spoken something in our lives and we're like, okay, well, I don't see it happening, but maybe I need to do something. Maybe I need to get together with this, you know, Hagar and make this happen. I need to help God out. Hey, Marcellus. But we don't need to help God out. We need to just be still and know that he is God, and what he has spoken in our lives is going to be so. What he has said, not even just for our lives, maybe what he has said for your family, what he has said for you, for the nation, your city, you know, that it is going to come to pass. And even though it looks like chaos, it looks like, wait a second, things are getting worse before they're getting better. But if God has spoken it, it is so, you know. And we have to remember the voice of God and remember what he has spoken, because he can't lie. He's not going to lie. He is going to fulfill his word. He has no reason to lie. Like I don't know the movie, but they're like, you know, I ain't gotta lie. I ain't gotta lie. Like, God ain't gotta lie. He does not, you know. So with all of that, we just have to rest assured and know that what he's done, what he's spoken, is gonna be so. So whatever it is you're going through in your life, whatever it is you're dealing with, why would I think I knew something? His voice is beautiful. Yes, Marcellus, his voice is beautiful. And a lot of times we think that we know better than God, and we think that, you know, because, you know, the blessing is delayed, and we think that it's denied, and it's not. The blessing delayed is not a denial. And really, there is no delay with God. You know, like, there's no delay, because he's an on-time God. Yes, he is. There's no delay with God. We think it's a delay because we have put God on our little time frame. Like, you know, I look at my life and I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to do this at this age, and I'm supposed to do this at that age, and I'm going to be here and there. And it's like, God is looking at my little plans, like, in my little timeline, and looking at it like, really? No. You know, and it's like, so I'm here looking like, oh my gosh, I'm delayed. You know, I don't have this yet. and I don't have that yet. And God is looking at like, okay, it's not time for you to have that. It's not time for you to have, you know, these things that you're thinking you're supposed to have. I know when you're supposed to have them. I am an on-time God. Like, there's no delay with God. The delay is only because we put a timeline on God's provisions and his blessings and his appointments. Like, he does not rely on time. He sets time. He transcends time. So it's like, blessing is here, and I don't even know how to appreciate it when so many of my friends go through it. Yeah, you know, our blessing is here. Yeah, our blessing is here. And it's like, we look at ourselves. Like, for example, I was complaining the other day, oh my gosh, my asthma, these allergies, I'm wheezing, I'm going through all of this stuff with my asthma symptoms. And then a family member of mine, I went to visit them and they were sick. And I'm just like, Kim, you're complaining about your asthma and how sick you are and how miserable these allergies are. And you got people here in a hospital bed that would love to be out and about driving with the windows up. Okay, so what? You can't drive with the windows down because of the pollen affecting you. But you're able to drive. You're not on your back on a hospital bed. And sometimes we're blessed and we don't even understand how blessed we are. We are just complaining. And I mean, I'm guilty of being a brat sometimes. And I'm just like, God, how do you deal with me and my brattiness? You know? And you see people around you that are like catching it. And you're just like complaining. Like, I mean, but God, even in all of that, he shows us ourselves. And I thank God for showing me myself, you know, because him showing us ourselves is such a blessing. And so I wanted to share that with you guys, to, you know, listen to the voice of God, remember what God, girl, you're the biggest brat. No, I think I'm the biggest brat. I got to be the biggest brat of them all. Because yeah, I'm the biggest brat, truly. I should not even be here. I should not even be alive. You know, when I was born, like, I was not even breathing. You know, I almost died, almost killed my mother. You know, I was her firstborn. So it's like, it was crazy. It's like, I shouldn't even be here. But guess what? I'm here. And God is like, I have you here for a reason. You know, and I know many people that I grew up with that are no longer here. Family members, friends, you know, that are not here. And it's like, God still has you here this morning, me here this morning. He woke us up this morning for a reason, because we're not done fulfilling the purpose and the calling that God has for us to do in this earth. So listen to the voice of God. And if you don't know what your calling and your purpose is, you know, ask him. He'll show you, he'll tell you. And then you can function out of a place of peace, and out of a place of dependence on God and reliance, and a place where you're not anxious and you're not worried and depressed, because you know God's got it. It's like, you know, it's like if you're with in a relationship or in a friendship, and you know that friend, you know, has a lot of money, you know, you go out with that friend and you're like, Dad, I don't have enough. Like, we're at this really expensive place. I don't think I have enough for it. But you know your friend invited you, and you know your friend got it. It's like, God's got it. It's like, we don't have to be stressed out about stuff and worrying ourselves to an early grave, when God is like, I got you, girl. I got you, boo. You know, I got you. And it's such a good thing to be known and to be loved and to be kept by God. It's just so amazing. I look at my life and I'm just like, you know, people looking on may be like, okay, Kim, like, you know, you don't want to be married, you don't want kids, and it's like, yeah, I want those things, but guess what? It's not time. It's not time. You know, because if it was time, it would have happened. Like, it could have happened. It's not like, you know, it could have happened. But it's not, it didn't, and it's because it's not time. And I'm not gonna, you know, stress myself out about it and wonder and worry about my biological clock, which, you know, in my world doesn't exist. But I'm not worried about those things because God has spoken some things on my life, and I'm just waiting for the manifestation. I'm not even stressing it. So I'm just taking it, rolling with the punches, you know, enjoying my life, living the blessed life, because the blessed life is the best life to live, you know, traveling, meeting new people, enjoying and embracing life. And that's what we all should be doing, you know, whatever phase you're in, whether you're married, single, divorced, embrace the place you're in, embrace the space you're in, and bloom and grow, and give and receive love, you know, give and receive help. And while I'm on that, I just want to share this really interesting thought. Well, you know what, I'll share that later, but basically I'm just end it with, you know, listen to the voice of God. There's no delay with God. God is on time all the time, and He knows best. We don't have to worry. Don't pray and worry. And be encouraged and know that He is God. He loves you. He cares about you. What you may be going through, though it may have been a surprise to you, it did not come as a surprise to God. God knows the end from the beginning, and He is always several steps ahead of us, and we really just have to. Hey, Cousin Raymond, guess what? I'm driving, and guess what I'm using? My hands-free. Thank you, cousin. So anyway, so guys, just be encouraged. Listen to the voice of God. Ask God to silence all the other voices that you may be hearing that are confusing you and that have you thinking that that is God or that is you. And trust God and know that He knows what's best. Feel that moment of blessing from inside out. Exactly. You definitely can feel the moment of blessing from inside out. So God wants to bless us. He's not trying to withhold any good thing from us. Hey, good morning, cuz. Yeah, so He's not trying to withhold any good gifts from us. He wants to give us good gifts. He's a good Father. That is who He is. That is His nature. And you know what? Jehovah, not only is He our provider, Jehovah Jireh, but He is the God who sees. And I don't know about you, but I'm so very grateful that I serve a God who sees me. He sees what I'm going through. And like a good Father, He's not going to see that I'm struggling, that I'm down, that I'm anxious and not provide. Like, you know, I was feeling really stressed out, like super stressed out and discouraged, you know, and just going into the month of October, like fearing it because, you know, my dad passed away in October. So I had this negative thought about, oh my goodness, this is going to be a terrible month. I can't stand October. And one of my friends had to tell me, like, Kim, why are you pronouncing negativity on a whole month? Like, why are you doing that? Why are you already, the month just starting and you're already claiming doom to it? Again, I was listening to the voice of the enemy, like, yeah, your dad died this month, you know, you're going to be depressed, you're going to be crying, you're going to be, all these things you're going to be, and this month is going to be a terrible month. And it's like, no, who said that? God didn't say that. God said, this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. That's the word. You understand? Spoken through David. This is the day. This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. So guess what? This is the month that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. This is going to be a great month. This is going to be an amazing month. I'm going to see breakthroughs. I'm going to see blessings, answered prayers. And you know what? We need to really start walking like what we prayed is going to happen. You understand? It's like, so if you prayed for a job, guess what? A new job, like go to the mall, go to the store, wherever you shop, thrift store, mall, if you sew clothes, make yourself something that you're going to be wearing to this new job. Because if you believe that God is going to give you a new job, then you need to start acting like you're going to be working. So get that new suit, get your shoes shined up, get your stuff ready. Because it's like we have to be ready for the blessings that we've prayed for. And like, okay, you're praying for a husband and wife. Okay, get your house ready. You know, set the table for two. You understand? Like, get your body right for the wedding dress or the suit that you're about to fit into. You understand? Because if you believe that God is going to give you what you prayed for, we got to start walking like we're going to get what we prayed for. Because he's a God that gives good gifts to his children. He is a good father. That is who he is. That is his nature. He is good. He is love. That is his nature. The Lord said, as far as you can see, he will give it to you. So if you give yourself the opportunity, then you will receive it through the word, the Lord. Exactly, William. Yes. Yeah, he will give us. Like, a lot of times we ask for things amiss, and I'm learning how to pray big prayers. I'm learning how to pray very specifically. Like, I'm not praying no wholesale prayers. A lot of times you're like, okay, we pray these little wholesale prayers of like, Lord, please forgive me for all my sins. No, you need to be specific. Like, be exact with God. God, forgive me for lying. God, forgive me for, fornicating last week. God, stop these wholesale prayers. And we do the same things with, oh Lord, bless me. Like, okay, how do you want me to bless you specifically? You understand? Like, okay, Lord, bless me with a home. Bless me with a God-fearing husband, wife. Bless me with a job that pays more than $70,000 a year. Bless me with, like, be specific. Because you know what? God is very specific. I mean, he has trees, and you look at the animals, you look at even our body, we are made so precisely. He didn't just randomly just throw things together. Like, why do we pray these wholesale prayers? And we pray prayers that are like, we ask God for things that we can do without him. Like, I'm so guilty of that. And I'm learning to really get to a place where I stop praying for things that I can do myself. So I pray big prayers. Like, I'm not praying for, okay, God, bless me with a car, like a specific car. I'm going to tell him exactly the make and model of the vehicle that I want. You understand? And I'm not even just going to just ask him for a vehicle. I want a vehicle that is paid for 100%. Like, wait, but you don't have $70,000, or you don't have $60,000. You know what? I'm believing God that's what he's gonna give me. I'm not just praying, Lord, please help me with the rent. Lord, help me to get a house. Like, we pray these little simple, Lord, pastors and ministers are like, Lord, help me to win a soul. And of course, every soul is valuable and important. But it's like, why are we only praying for one soul? Like, Lord, give me the whole city. Give me the whole state for Christ. Like, we need to be more bold in our prayers, and we need to ask God for things that people will look at us and say, that's impossible. Like, you can't do that. You can't get that kind of house on what you're making on your credit. You can't. You just started out as a minister. You talking about raising up 2 churches? Like, what? No, a whole city? Yeah. The God I serve can do it, and I believe it. I'm that crazy sister that believes that I'm serving a God that can do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ask or think. So even when I think I'm praying this super big prayer, God still blows my mind. And I love when my God, my daddy, blows my mind. He blows it. Completely blows it. I'm like, Dad, God, I mean, I was praying for, I was praying for a blessing, a financial blessing. But like, you just, wow, like, you gave me, I'm praying for a job and you're giving me like 6 job offers, and now I gotta pick which one I want. Like, this is beautiful. Okay, God, yes, I want a husband, but now you throwing like all these wonderful eligible bachelors my way, and I get to pick and choose like and which one I want. Like, this is overwhelming. But you know what? That's the kind of God we serve. He just does above and beyond we can ask or think. So with that being said, I'm going to continue my road trip here and just be encouraged. Listen to the voice of God. Don't pray little baby prayers, and believe that God is going to give and do what you said. Believe that God is going to give us the blessings and the things that we're asking for according to His will. Because His will is for us to prosper and be in good health, even as our souls prosper. And prosperity comes in many different ways. So be encouraged, be blessed, and have a great day. And again, as always, this is the voice. This is the warrior. And we are forward still. Forward still. Later.